Hello and welcome, everybody. Hello, hello. Glad to have you here with me today. All right, let me close this over here that popped up. So, today we are going to be talking about different ways to use EFT in your life, different ways to use it so that you can enhance your life by using this kind of funny looking little tool, tapping, to support you in your journey in life. So, what I do when I work with people privately is a deeper level of work than I recommend doing on your own. But there are many things that you can do on your own. So I'm going to share those with you today. And then in the show notes, I'll have written out what they are. So hopefully that'll help you remember if you want to give them a try. So let's start with our short little meditation that I call Elevate. So I want to invite you to close your eyes and just start taking a couple deep, nourishing breaths, getting centered and grounded and arriving. And I want to invite you to bring your attention out of your head and into your heart. Your heart is the seat of the soul. And as you bring your attention here into your heart, slowing your breathing, I want to invite you to think about someone you really, really love and who really, really loves you. So this can be human, animal, could be a pet from your childhood, could be a grandparent maybe. Whoever it is, when you tune into them, just really brings you into that space of joy and love and appreciation. And I want to invite you to really feel into that. Allow yourself to feel that emotion in your heart. And if this feeling has a color to you, tune into that color. And imagine that you're anchoring in that energy, that color, that love, joy, and appreciation into your heart. And then imagine spreading it from your heart all throughout your body, filling every single cell with love, joy, and appreciation. And let's take one more deep, nourishing breath together. Opening your eyes, coming back to here and now. So, as I said, today I'm going to be sharing with you a few different ways of using EFT for yourself on a regular basis. And first, I want to share a quote that was in my newsletter this Monday. And if you'd like to join my newsletter, you can get that at yourtappingjourney.com. You can sign up for it. You can sign up for the 5 days to self-love if you would like to have that. So, anyway, the quote is, "Self-care is how you take your power back. Self-care is how you take your power back." And that's by Delia, Lahdelia. Self-care is how you take your power back. So EFT to me is one of the best self-care tools there are. So I'm going to grab a sip of water and then we're going to do some tapping. So we are going to start with one of the simplest things to do, which is just silent tapping and or touch and breathe. Silent tapping or touch and breathe. And the reason I say it that way is because you don't have to tap on these meridian endpoints. You can simply touch them and get the same effect. So sometimes if you're feeling I'm going to say kind of fragile, whatever that may mean. It may be that just touching the points, for instance, if you had a migraine headache, you're not going to want to tap here. You might just want to touch. Okay. So that's one option is silent tapping or touch and breathe. So we're going to do 3 rounds of that together. And for those of you who are brand new to EFT or tapping, I'm going to run through the points real quick. So actually for silent tapping or touch and breathe, you don't need to do what's called a setup phrase or balancing statement, but I'm going to show you that point anyway, because we're going to use it toward the end. And that is this point right under the pinky finger. This is called the side of the hand, or you may hear it called the karate chop point. So when we do the side of the hand point, this is where we do what's called a setup phrase or balancing statement. And this is where you're literally saying, even though this is going on, this is what I'm feeling, this is what's happening. So you're tapping target when you have a tapping target. So when you're focusing on that, even though this, something positive. The simplest thing to remember is I'm okay. And you can say right here and right now, I'm okay if you want. Or traditionally, the most common thing to say was a version of I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I personally don't like using that because for a lot of people, we don't love and accept ourselves. We don't deeply and completely love and accept ourselves. So that brings up a whole nother layer of guilt or shame or disappointment or what's wrong with me because I don't feel that way. So a lot of times I'll use I'm learning to or I'm leaning into um, loving and accepting myself. But if you don't want to get into that, you can just say, I'm okay. If for some reason you're not feeling safe, just saying I'm safe is another option. I worked with someone who had been in a bad car wreck, and all I did with her was even though I was scared, I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. So we did a lot of just I am safe because she needed to feel safe. Her nervous system was very dysregulated from this car wreck, and she needed to just calm down and feel safe. So it kind of depends on what your purpose is, what you're tapping for. So, anyway, that's the side of the hand, and we're going to do that toward the end when we do some positive tapping. For right now, I'm going to show you the other points. So, using two fingers, the eyebrow point is right in between the eyebrows. The next point is the side of the eye, then under the eye, then under the nose. The chin point is the indentation between the lip and the chin. The next point is called the collarbone, but you actually find your collarbones, go down about an inch and out about an inch. The next point is called the underarm point. This is about, so for the ladies, it's the bottom of the bra line. So it's further down. It's not right up here. It's further down. And it's also where you would wear a heart monitor. And you can do what I'm doing, which is the same side of the body, or you can do crossbody, whichever's more comfortable for you. And the last point we're using today is the top of the head. There are wrist points and there's finger points that are on the side of the nail bed. And actually for the ring finger, it's the other side, but I'm not going to confuse you with that today. So we are going to do 3 rounds of silent tapping or touch and breathe. So again, touch and breathe is just where you touch the points instead of tapping on the points. So I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to start with touch and breathe for the first round and then switch to tapping for the next 2. So, assuming you're doing this on the replay with me, I'm going to ask you to get a number 0 to 10 before we start on how you're feeling. So, stress is the simplest thing. How stressed am I feeling in this moment? 10 being high stress, 0 is none at all. But in this moment, if you're feeling angry or sad or disappointed or frustrated or overwhelmed or whatever you're feeling, tune into that feeling and get a number of 0 to 10. Okay, I'm assuming you've had a chance to do that. So if not, pause the recording and go back to it. And let's do some silent tapping. So we're going to go to the eyebrow. And again, I said I'm doing touch and breathe for the first one. So just. And by the way, if you don't have something specific to focus on, that's okay. Just do it anyway. The side of the eye. Under the eye. Under the nose. chin, collarbone, under the arm, and top of the head. And for the next 2 rounds, I am going to tap eyebrow, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, excuse me, top of the head, back to the eyebrow, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, and top of the head. And let's just take a deep breath together and tune back into how you're feeling. Notice if you feel calmer, if you feel less stressed or less overwhelmed, or whatever it is you may have been focusing on. Excuse me. What is most common for people for 3 rounds of tapping is to feel about 2 points less. So if you started at 7, you'd feel a 5. So just notice how that is for you. All right, we're going to talk about the next one. We're not actually going to do it. The next one is called Rant and Tap, or Talk and Tap. And that's Rant, R-A-N-T, Rant and Tap, or Talk and Tap. This is a great one for when you're feeling angry or overwhelmed or frustrated or disappointed. And this is simply what it sounds like. So it's going to be, even though I'm so mad at my brother, I can't believe he said that. Right here and right now, I'm okay. I can't believe he said that. Who does he think he is? I am so angry with him. How dare he? I can't believe he said that. So you get the idea, right? So it's just an opportunity to get your feelings out in a quick way, preferably hiding in the bathroom or the car or wherever. You don't want to do this where you're, in front of whoever it is that you're upset with, right? So you do it in a safe space where you can get into the feeling. But the thing about the reason for doing it with tapping is because tapping is proven to calm your nervous system. It lowers your cortisol level, which is your stress hormone. There's been several studies showing this. I mean, there's proof for this. So we talk about the 3 C's of tapping: calm, clear, and create. So when you do the tapping, it helps to calm you. So even though you're angry, as you're tapping, hopefully you can get where you get some relief and not so angry, so that you can function from a better place. So really quickly, and actually you could go back to Latin. No, I didn't do it on here. I just realized that. You can go back to where I did an explanation of EFT to see this in more detail. And here on YouTube, you can find Dan Segals' hand-brain model to hear more about this. But this is Dan Segals' hand-brain model. There's many versions here on YouTube. This is your spinal column. You have no control over what happens here. This is the reptilian part of the brain, the autonomic or automatic part of the brain that is regulating your heartbeat and your breathing and your digestion and your temperature regulation and your immune system, all the things you don't have to think about, all the things that are just doing their thing on their own. And then this part is called the prefrontal cortex. This is the thinking part of the brain. This is what you're using right now to listen to me. And then in here, we have the mammalian part of the brain or the limbic system part of the brain. This is where you have the amygdala, hippocampus, and something else I'm forgetting at the moment. So, anyway, this is the part of the brain that when we do tapping, we're working on this part of the brain to calm this part of the brain. This is where feelings and memories are. So, literally, when we do the tapping, we are allowing you to calm yourself. So, actually, I forgot to give you one piece of information about this. Back to the ham brain model, that when you are upset, when you're angry, when you're stressed, you literally flip your lid, meaning you can't think clearly. You can't do things nearly as well. So when you do tapping and calm this part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex comes back online and you can think more clearly. So that is the purpose of Rant and Tap. As you're getting your feelings out while you're tapping, you're calming your nervous system so that you can think more clearly. And what I generally recommend is tapping until you get the the deep sigh, because the deep sigh is a great sign that your energy has shifted and changed to the point that you're much calmer and able to function better. Okay, so we've done touch and breathe, silent tapping, rant and tap, and I'm peeking at my notes. Oh, commando tapping. So, commando tapping is a way of tapping when you're in public and you don't want people to know you're tapping. This is great for Thanksgiving dinner with your family and somebody has just said something that's upset you, or you're in a work meeting and you can't believe your boss just said that, or whatever. This is where you just nonchalantly go, "Hmm." So you're touching the points, but not making it as an obvious what you're doing. You can do that, or you can do finger tapping. So finger, and get one in the right direction, is where you're literally tapping on the side of the nail bed, and you can do it with the same hand like this, or you can use the other hand. And actually, the ring finger is the opposite side. But just to simplify, I just do it this way. So this is a way you can have your hand under the table, back to the Thanksgiving dinner or, at a conference room table, where you can be tapping those fingers, the side of your hand, and it's not as obvious what you're doing. So that's commando tapping. All right, the last, oh, no, two more. The next one is butterfly tap, and that is where you can take your fingers like this. You don't have to do this. You can just do it like this, or you can just do it like this if you want. But I like to do it like this. This is a fun one to do with kids, and this is where you're going back and forth. This is not really EFT, by the way, but this is a form of tapping. And when you do this bilateral stimulation, again, it calms you. See, I even got the deep sigh just from doing this a little bit. This is a fun one with kids when they're upset. Okay, we're going to butterfly tap and we're going to calm down. So it's a fun one. Hard to even quit. So I hope you'll give that one a try. The last one of my favorites, is simply positive tapping, tapping in the positives, saying affirmations or a mantra or anything positive while you tap, because we want to create. Remember, calm, clear, and create. So you're calming and clearing whatever keeps you from believing what you're affirming so that you can create what you're affirming. So this we're going to do together here at the end, and that'll be it for today. And I need to look at what next week's is. You know what? I'm not going to take the time to look right now because I don't have it pulled up. So anyway, let's do some tapping together. So we're going to go the side of the hand, repeating after me. So even though I have a lot of stress and worry in my life, I'm choosing to focus on the positives today. So I hope you're repeating after me out loud, preferably. So even though there's so much going on, I'm choosing to focus on the positives today. So even though there's a lot going on in my life, I'm choosing to focus on what I am grateful for today. And let's go around the points. I am grateful for my life. And I'm choosing to bring in calm and confident energy. I'm choosing to bring in strength and courage, hope and faith, trust and faith. I'm choosing to bring in joy and happiness. I'm choosing to bring in positive energy. And I'm allowing abundance to flow in my life. I'm allowing myself to feel abundant and grateful today. Remembering that I am blessed. And I am a blessing to others. Anything that is possible for anyone is possible for me. So I'm bringing in comfort in my body. I'm bringing in faith and hope and trust. I'm bringing in joy and happiness. And I'm choosing to make this a great day. Remembering that I am blessed and that I am a blessing to others. And I'm so, so grateful. So I ask you to put your hands over your heart, take a deep, nourishing breath. Anchoring in those positive feelings, bringing in hope, faith, trust, and gratitude. So I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found that helpful. I'm actually going to put a link in the show notes to my daily tapping meditation, which is actually my first thing I put on YouTube however many years ago. And it's actually just audio. There's nothing to watch. It's just a picture. And it's literally just tapping in positives. And it's 3 or 4 minutes long. So we'll have that in the show notes for you. Thank you so, so much for joining me. Blessings to you all, and I hope to see you next week. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.